Hello, it's so good to be with you guys again today. So, today we're talking about God is just. It's been so great over the past few weeks learning about different aspects of our God, about that He's the creator. He's holy, completely holy and perfect in all He does. And today we're going to talk about Him being just. Now, how many of you have ever said the words, "That's not fair"? Okay, I'm sure we all have. And there are times where that is very true. But we know that God is always just and fair. I want to read you a few laws that, well, I'll see what you think about them, if you think they're fair or not. And these are laws that I found this on the internet that are in Virginia. Did you know that in Richmond, Virginia, citizens cannot flip a coin in a dining establishment to see who gets to pay for the coffee? Did you know that no person in Virginia may keep a skunk as a pet? Okay, that's probably not a very good idea anyway. Did you know that no animal may be hunted on Sundays, with the exception of raccoons, which may be hunted until 2 a.m.? And did you know that Virginians cannot spit on seagulls? Okay, some of those are very random sounding laws. I want to play a little game that has some other just silly, crazy laws, and I want to see if you can figure out what they are. So go ahead and pause the video for a moment so that you can grab a pen and a piece of paper, and then come back and join me, okay? Okay, are we ready? So here we go. I'm going to give you the first half of a law, and then you need to write down the second half, and we'll see how close you are. Ready? The first one. In Lexington, Kentucky, it used to be legal to carry a frozen, you ready? A frozen ice cream cone in your pocket. Did anyone get that right? I don't know, that's pretty crazy. It would melt fast and you don't want to sit down. All right, here's another one. In Hayden, Arizona, it is illegal to bother. Do you have an answer? It's illegal to bother a bunny. All right, let's try one from California. In the state of California, it's illegal to peel. All right, are you ready? An orange in a hotel room. Who knew? Okay, and the last one I have. In Garfield County, Montana, it is illegal to draw. It is illegal to draw funny faces on the outside of your window shades. All right, who has broken any of those laws? Those don't sound like very fair laws, or really laws that make much of a difference for anything. But God's laws are always just. If we think about some of the other laws that we follow, do not steal, do not murder, those laws have a good purpose. We can easily see that purpose, and we also know that there are consequences if we are not following those laws, that they have to be paid for. Well, in God's law, we know that anything that we do wrong is called sin. Any wrongdoing against God, against another person, we also call that sin. And today we're talking about how God is just and He requires payment for sin in our lives. The Bible does clarify in a couple of different places that this sin separates us from God. And in Romans 6:23, it even says, the wages of sin is death. That's not talking about just death here on earth. That's talking about eternal separation from God. God is just, and because of that, any sin, any wrongdoing of ours requires punishment. We could just leave it there because that is our topic today, but I need to go on a little bit further because God also is love. And at the same time of being just and requiring payment, He loves us so much that He wants to have a relationship with us. Let me show you an example of this. Okay, let's imagine that this is a picture of the world, and there is sin in this world. I know we can all agree to that. We live in a world of sin. Okay, but because of God's love, Jesus chose to come down to this world. Okay, and Jesus lived in this world being perfect, holy and just. He lived in this world. The sin did not affect him. But because he loved us, he also chose to die on the cross for our sins. And most of you know that when a candle doesn't have oxygen, it will soon burn out. In 1 John 1:9, it says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to purify us from all unrighteousness. Not only did Jesus come, but he died for our sins. And as you can see, he took our sins upon him. He chose to be the bearer of my sin and to take that payment. And so when God looks at me, he doesn't look at me and see my sin. He looks and says, yes, she's a sinner, but look it's paid in full. Her sins have been paid for. And because of that, I can spend eternity with God in heaven if only I ask for that. So let's review our verse one time and think about God's justice. Deuteronomy 32:4 says, he is the rock. His works are perfect and all his ways are just. A faithful God who does no wrong, upright and just is he. But given the demonstration we just had, I want to jump ahead to next week's verse as well. And let's look at that really quick. The verse next week is Ephesians 2:4 and 5. But because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ, even when we were dead in transgressions. It is by grace you have been saved. See if you can share that grace of God with someone in your neighborhood, in your family, or just someone that you know this week.